Hi everyone, I'm Justyne. I am a photographer, media specialist, and designer from Uxbridge. I grew up here. I went to Uxbridge Public School, Uxbridge Secondary School, and I recently graduated from the media production program at Ryerson University. So I am a natural light portrait and event photographer. This means that I do pretty much all my work outside in natural sunlight. And I do shoots like family sessions, engagements, weddings, headshots. I also do some videography and stage performance photography. And I also currently work at the Uxbridge Cosmos newspaper as a journalist. So I was asked to give you a few tips on photography. But that in itself is pretty difficult just because it totally depends on your previous knowledge of photography or the equipment you're used to or that you have available to look at. So instead, I'm going to give you a few tips on starting your own business, because that's what I did as a photographer, freelance, and also just some general concepts that can kind of relate to photography but also to other arts, whatever sort of arts you may be doing for other clients. So hopefully some of this will be helpful and interesting. So here we go. The first thing that is probably the most important thing when you're creating your personal business is you need to establish your brand. So the brand is the look and feel of the business. This includes things like your website, your logo, the colors you use, even the fonts, and the words you use to describe yourself. Basically, you want anybody who lands on your website page to get a clear idea of who you are, an understanding of what you're going to give them before you even talk to them. So this includes even your social profiles. It's how you display yourself to people before they even come and talk to you. So it's just so important for people to get onto the page, know who you are, know what you are going to give them, and kind of that they can get to know you before they actually contact you. So this will give people a clear understanding of who you are, and it's just important for them to be able to know these things so that they can trust you. The second thing is make sure you're passionate when you're starting your own business. So I'm terrible at math. I don't like math. I would never decide to start a tutoring business because I just would not enjoy it. I probably wouldn't be very good at it. But if you're starting a side hustle or starting to do some freelance work, you've got to make sure that what you're putting yourself out there to do is something that you're passionate about, because you're going to spend hours trying to get it to work, hours to build your brand, build up a client base, and it's like you just need to really make sure that you like doing what you're gonna do. I still spend hours creating my personal brand, and then the hours that I'm actually working and shooting for clients, it's like it actually takes up so much of my time. I thought it was gonna be just sort of a hobby, passion project that I was just sort of working on, and it's turned into something that I can actually kind of make a career out of. So I'm really happy that I chose something that I really enjoy doing, because I'm ending up spending a lot of time on it. So yeah, choose something that you're passionate about if you're going to choose something to do. The next thing is sort of related to photography, but again, it can be used for sort of any arts where you're getting commissioned to do things. And that's that you need to find a style. So this hit me a little while ago, probably like a year or two ago, that when I'd get my photos back, stick my card in the computer to go and edit, and I'd be like, okay, I don't know what to do to these pictures because they look pretty good, and I know I gotta edit them a little bit, but I don't know what to do. So I just kind of mess around with colors and levels until it looked pretty good, and then I'd send them off to people, and they were usually happy because I think I have a good eye, and I'm pretty confident with the work that I do. So I mean, it was good. It was good. But something I realized, it actually hit me while I was looking at my Instagram profile. I was like, none of these pictures really match. And when you find a really good Instagram profile, it's like all of the photos look the same, they've got that same sort of mood, same style. That's what I wanted. So I started really nailing down the style that I was gonna have. So I knew that I liked doing outdoors, backlit, warm, colorful. So I started kind of making some presets that would start off my editing. And that's how I sort of started branding my style. And again, goes with the brand. It's so important to have that clear understanding of what you are. So basically, when a client comes to your website, or a potential client, I should say, they come to your website, they're looking at your portfolio, they need to understand what kind of work you produce. So if they like what they see, they're going to book you, they're going to have you do work, and they're expecting to get the work that they're seeing on your portfolio. So it would really suck if they booked you and you gave them something that was totally different from what they were expecting. And maybe it's not different bad, it's just not the look that they thought you were going to give them. So finding that consistency in your style is so important to creating that reliable brand and that reliable product. And people are really going to trust you more if they know that they can rely on what you're going to produce. So the next thing is more of a photography tip. It's kind of something that I think of almost all the time when I'm taking photos, but it can relate to a lot of different things, like even if you're just taking a photo for your Instagram page. So it's lighting, and lighting is pretty hard. Even like I go outside with my camera and I'm like, what the heck is the sun doing? I can't work with this. I get flustered and frustrated, but I'm gonna tell you that it's not impossible. It takes a lot of practice, I think, and just sort of working on different ways that you can use the light that you've got. But one tip that I use whenever I'm taking portraits is that I pretty much always keep the sun behind my subject. So not like sun right here, camera right there, because that can sometimes make that like hazy glare around your subject, but kind of sort of this angle. You kind of have to like play around with it, 10, 20 photos, just sort of moving around until you get that really steady light that you're looking for. It definitely takes a bit of practice, but I'm telling you, when you have the sun back here, the shadow of the person is like going this way towards their face. So you have a steady light this way. If the sun's here, you get like, over here, you'll get like patchy light on this side, and then it'll be darker on this side. It gets really hard to edit things like that, and you can sometimes get really washed out bits and then really dark bits, and it's not great. So that's what I primarily do. It even works in the shade if you're under a tree and you've got the sun coming through, you know, the leaves like this. So even you can see it a little bit with my window over on that side. And I get like a shadow through the leaves, and it's kind of, you get those like cow splotches of light, and that, again, it's horrible to edit and it just doesn't look great. But if the sun's back here, there's nothing to create a shadow from this side. So that tip pretty much works all the time. You have to mess around with it a little bit and figure out which way it's gonna work best for you, but I'm telling you, it's gonna work. So my last tip is please prepare for your sessions. It sounds like, well, obviously I'd prepare, but everybody has been in a situation where you're gonna go and do something, whether it be a test or a photography session or whatever it is, an interview even, and you get there and you're like, darn, I really wish I prepared a bit better for this. So I'm gonna give you a few things that will help you prepare for a photography shoot. So the first thing is talk to your client. These are like really basic questions that you should ask. Where are we probably gonna take pictures? And I say probably because when I get to a location, I'm gonna look around, see what's around me, and probably change things a little bit, maybe move people a couple of times, but I just sort of want an idea of the space I'm gonna be in. So a lot of the times for family sessions, it'll be in someone's backyard. So I usually ask my clients, can you send me a photo of the space we might be using, just so I can get an idea of where the light is. Often I kind of get them to take the photo at a time of day that's approximately when I would be showing up for them, just so you can see where the light would be. And then also knowing who's gonna be there. So it's really good to know exactly who you're taking pictures of. I mean, it sounds self-explanatory, but if, say, mom of the family books the shoot, maybe she's got 3 kids and her husband, and you're thinking, okay, so it's gonna be the 5 of them. But then you get there and it's like the grandparents are there as well, and aunt and uncle, and it's like, gets a bit crazy, and that's not what you were expecting. So it's instantly just a little bit stressful. Even not that it was a bad surprise, but it just a surprise enough that it makes things a bit stressful. So yeah, just finding out who's gonna be there, because then you can prepare with the next step, which is use Pinterest. So it gives you so many ideas for free that can be so helpful before you go into a shoot. So if I'm doing an engagement shoot, I would go to Pinterest and I would search up couples poses or engagement photos. And then I just save them to a board so that I have them there to look back to, and even take a photo of my computer screen with the camera that I'm gonna be at the session with, so that you can kind of like sneakily look back through your photos and find the poses. So people don't know you're doing it and you're kind of cheating, I guess, because you're not thinking on the fly, but I'd say it's a good cheat. And it's super helpful to have those things there and easy to use, so that you are feeling a bit more confident when you get there that, you know, one of the hardest things I find is posing, and some people are great models and some aren't. And you have to be comfortable kind of working with people and getting them to do poses. And obviously these things, you know, they get a lot easier with time, and as you learn sort of your go-to poses, it's easier to do. But yeah, having like a Pinterest bank of great ideas is really useful. And the last thing is, don't stop learning. So when this goes with the being prepared, but when you're going to a shoot that's maybe a bit different than something you've done before, go to YouTube and search up whether it's like the lighting conditions or the type of shoot style, or, you know, pretty much anything. YouTube has honestly everything you could possibly want to know. And there are tons of photographers on there who do tutorials or give examples of their photos, and it's just so, it's so comforting to have that little bit of extra knowledge when you go into a shoot. So just as an example, last winter I did a maternity shoot, and on the day of, it was like crazy snowstorm, like snowstorm of the year probably, and we were going to be outside in a field, and like I was just thinking, well, it's all going to be white, like the background's going to be white, there's going to be white snow falling, and white is not a great color to photograph because it's kind of like there's nothing there, right? So it gets difficult. So I went onto YouTube and I looked up, you know, snowstorm photo shoots, and there are tons of people who are giving like ideas on how to work with lighting in the snow, and even things like how to use reflectors and posing ideas. And it's honestly, it's a great way to be a little bit more prepared and feel a little bit more confident. Also, just the fact of just keep learning is, I think, so important, because kind of goes back to choosing your style. Your style is going to change a little bit from, you know, when you establish it in the beginning to as you keep going, because you want to improve. Ultimately, you want to improve, and your clients are going to pay more for higher quality work, and as you improve, you can charge more, and so it kind of keeps going up like that. But yeah, keep trying to learn things, find tutorials. Yeah, just be prepared for what you're getting into, and always keep learning so that you can do better and better the next time. So yeah, that's what I'm gonna give you for today, and I'm gonna put my website and my Instagram right here. So I'd love you guys to reach out if you have any questions about starting your own business, or questions about photography, social media management, design stuff. I'm happy to help. I'd love to chat to anybody who is interested and wants to either, you know, get to know stuff or work with me. I'd love to work with anybody. If anybody wants some photos done, I'm here. So yeah, I hope this video is helpful and inspiring to some people, and I'd love to see what else you guys can do and show me some things that you've learned. So yeah, reach out to me if you'd like, and I hope everyone has a great summer. Bye.